Good evening. In a stunning political development, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced plans to resign from her seat in January. Greene, a figure synonymous with the rise of far-right politics and a fervent supporter of former President Donald Trump, has been a fixture of controversy since her election in 2020. Known for her outspoken rhetoric and unwavering allegiance to Trump, she has often dominated headlines with incendiary statements, high-profile committee stunts, and a defiance of party norms. Yet, in a surprising turn, sources report that a series of recent ruptures with Trump, including his withdrawal of support, have contributed to her decision to step down, signaling a potentially seismic shift within the GOP and raising questions about the future of the faction she has long represented. Ms. Greene's announcement follows weeks of speculation and political maneuvering. Trump's public unendorsement, which came after a series of disagreements over policy and political strategy, has reportedly shaken Greene's confidence in her position. For years, her political identity was intertwined with unwavering loyalty to Trump, making the sudden absence of his backing a significant blow. Analysts note that Greene's departure could have far-reaching implications for the Republican Party, particularly as the 2024 midterm elections approach. It leaves a vacuum for her constituents, while also signaling that even high-profile, media-savvy figures are not immune to shifts in influence when party leaders recalibrate their endorsements. Greene's resignation may mark the end of an era defined by confrontational politics and incendiary messaging in certain congressional circles. Throughout her tenure, Greene cultivated a reputation as a provocateur, frequently clashing with colleagues across the aisle and even within her own party. From her early days advocating for Trump's claims of election fraud to her leadership in contentious committee hearings, she positioned herself as a standard-bearer for the populist right. However, the political landscape is changing, and Greene's alignment with the former president appears increasingly tenuous. Sources close to her office indicate that the combination of personal political fatigue, mounting scrutiny from both media and legislative bodies, and the loss of Trump's support factored heavily into her decision. Observers suggest that her resignation will force Republicans to reassess strategies for energizing the party's base while maintaining cohesion and credibility in Washington. The resignation announcement has sparked a flurry of reaction from political commentators, party leaders, and constituents alike. Democrats have seized the moment to critique Greene's tenure, framing it as a departure from productive governance. Meanwhile, Republicans are weighing the implications for both the party's public image and the upcoming elections. Analysts emphasize that Greene's departure could signal a recalibration within the party, an opportunity to move away from headline-driven controversies toward a more strategic legislative focus. Yet, others caution that her exit could leave her supporters feeling disenfranchised or disillusioned, potentially influencing voter turnout and intra-party dynamics. The coming weeks will likely reveal whether Greene's resignation is the start of a broader trend of recalibration within the GOP. While Greene's resignation is scheduled for January, the immediate political consequences are already evident. Media coverage is framing the move as both a personal retreat and a political pivot. Questions abound regarding who will fill her seat, how her constituents will respond, and whether this signals a broader shift in the balance of power within the Republican caucus. Analysts also point to the symbolic significance. Greene, once viewed as untouchable within her faction, is stepping down amid fractured alliances and changing endorsements, illustrating the volatile nature of political capital in Washington. As the nation watches, the focus will remain on both the immediate logistical questions of succession and the broader narrative of how political loyalty, influence, and ideology continue to evolve in an era defined by rapid news cycles and highly polarized electorates. Political analysts note that Greene's resignation could have ripple effects beyond her congressional district. Her presence in Congress was more than just local representation. It was a symbol of the populist, Trump-aligned wing of the GOP. With Trump's unendorsement now public, the departure may embolden other lawmakers who have been quietly distancing themselves from confrontational strategies. Some see this as a possible turning point, a moment where the party may attempt to pivot from high-drama political tactics toward more conventional legislative maneuvering. At the same time, Greene's supporters have been vocal online, arguing that her resignation is a betrayal of the movement she helped amplify, signaling that the fallout may reverberate in both media narratives and grassroots politics for months to come. Greene's career has been marked by an unusual blend of celebrity-level visibility and legislative influence. From appearances on national media to high-profile social media campaigns, she leveraged attention to assert her political priorities. Critics often argued that her approach prioritized spectacle over substance, while supporters praised her for challenging the establishment and giving voice to constituents who felt underrepresented. Her resignation, however, underscores the inherent vulnerability in such a strategy when political influence is heavily dependent on alliances, particularly with figures like Trump. The withdrawal of support can be destabilizing. Washington insiders now view her departure as a case study in the fragility of influence, built primarily on personal loyalty and media presence, rather than coalition building or bipartisan achievements. The logistics of Greene's departure also carry significant political consequences. Her seat will become vacant in January, triggering either a special election or temporary appointment, depending on Georgia's state laws. This creates an immediate political contest that could reshape the partisan balance in Congress, with both Republicans and Democrats weighing the strategic importance of winning the district. Additionally, her exit will impact committee assignments and voting blocks, forcing Republican leaders to reassess internal power structures and legislative strategies. Observers suggest that how the party navigates this transition may determine whether it can maintain cohesion amid ideological divides or whether Greene's resignation signals a broader realignment within the GOP's rank-and-file membership. Reaction from the public and media has been intense, with coverage spanning everything from televised segments to opinion columns. Some analysts have framed Greene's resignation as an inevitable outcome, a culmination of political missteps and misalignment with the current trajectory of the party. Others warn that the spectacle surrounding her departure risks overshadowing substantive political discussion, focusing attention on personality rather than policy. Yet for many, Greene's exit provides a moment to reflect on the broader trends within American politics: the rise and fall of highly visible, ideologically driven figures, the influence of celebrity endorsements in legislative careers, and the consequences of political polarization that can make compromise increasingly difficult. As January approaches, all eyes will be on how Marjorie Taylor Greene concludes her tenure and how the Republican Party responds. Her resignation encapsulates multiple lessons about loyalty, influence, and the shifting dynamics of American politics. It underscores the reality that political careers, particularly those built on alignment with powerful figures and media visibility, are inherently volatile. The forthcoming vacancy in Congress presents both a challenge and an opportunity, a test of party unity, a chance for new leadership, and a potential recalibration of strategies heading into the next election cycle. While Greene's resignation marks the end of one chapter, it also signals a turning point for the GOP, offering insight into how political alliances, endorsements, and public perception continue to shape the landscape of American governance.